you remember when it was fun and exciting to get an email? That was a long time ago. These days, our inboxes are filled and there's a real fatigue. And so, as a marketer, your challenge is to break through the clutter and get people excited about your email. Curious? You'll need to listen to today's show. Okay, here we go. Welcome to More Than a Few Words, a marketing conversation for business owners. MTFW is part of the digital toolbox from Roundpeg, and this is your host, Lorraine Ball. If you're like me and the rest of the world, your email inbox is overloaded. Everybody is trying to get your attention. So how do you as a marketer not only break through, but keep readers engaged so that they read the email and take action? That's what we're going to talk about today as I chat with Shane Barker. Shane is an accomplished digital marketing consultant, and he's worked with celebrities on digital reputation management. He's obtained a national ranking with ProScore as a social media consultant, and he's built an impressive list of accomplishments in digital marketing. He's a regular contributor to publications like Salesforce, Yahoo Small Business, Marketing Profs, and the Roundpeg blog. And you'll be able to read his recent post with us from a link in today's show notes. Shane, welcome to the show.
Hey, Lorraine, thanks for having me. I was excited when you reached out about the interview. It's been a little while since I've been on, so I was looking forward to opportunity number 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, and your first conversation was filled with so many great tips on influencer marketing that I really wanted to bring you back for a different topic. So let's dive in. How do you get people, once they've opened your email, to do more than just go, yep, read it, and move on?
Yeah, I mean, that's the question of the day. Email, we've heard in the past people say, oh, email is dead. It's very far from being dead. I mean, if you own anything, it's the emails that come in and the way that you engage them and the type of content you put out there is extremely important. I have clients that, over the years, because of the way that we've, been able to collect emails for them and be able to put those in different segmentation. We'll talk about it a little later. Every time they send out emails, or at least they're sending out emails that are promotional, that have something that they can buy or purchase. It's like printing money. You really want to take care of your email list. It's once again not dead by any means, even though you might hear that out there. But I think when we talk about putting your newsletter together, there's a few things. I think today we're going to talk about 6 of them. Just a few things you have to keep in mind when it comes to putting emails out. There really needs to be a purpose. And this is anything you do in marketing. You have to have a purpose behind it. You can't just send stuff out and go, okay, I'm not really sure the reason for that. You have to think about what is the intent of me sending this email out or producing a piece of content. And so when you're doing that, and once again, it comes down to the quality of the content and not necessarily the quantity. So, you don't have to necessarily do something every single day. Let's say you only do it once a week, but make sure you put all of your effort into that and figure out, once again, what is the goal of it? And am I putting out my best product ever? Right? That's really what it comes down to. And some of the different ways that you can do that, one being creative, impressive, and polished designs. Design is obviously extremely important. There's 2 ways to send emails. It can either be design type stuff where it can be the template or somebody creates a template for you, or it can also be text-based. Both of them just depends on your audience. If they're more visually pleased by things, depends on what kind of, obviously, where you collected the emails from, or if it's going to be more of a text-based thing. And so design being, it sounds pretty basic when you say, hey, make sure you have a good design, but it is something to think about. Once again, if you're putting out design stuff, make sure that it looks good. You have to make sure it represents your brand and it's in line in regards to what the kind of content you want to put out there.
As you're talking about that, one of the things that we've evolved with, because we've been doing email marketing for almost 20 years, is the emergence of mobile. And how has that changed or created some design challenges that are different than maybe the desktop?
Yeah, see, that's part of the thing is that when you create a design, depending on what platform you're using, you have to make sure that it is going to be a situation where on mobile it's still going to look good, right? And that's if you're creating your own design, you want to make sure that you're testing it. I mean, there's like MailChimp and other platforms out there that obviously the designs that you pick from theirs, which are templates, those will be tested in regards to mobile or any kind of different type of platform or any kind of, if you're doing desktop or your iPhone or iPad or whatever that may be using, you want to make sure that, once again, make sure that mobile is, because mobile is going to be a big play. People are on the go, they're walking, they're driving. Hopefully they're not driving to look at their phones, but I mean, I might be guilty of that potentially. But yeah, I mean, it's a situation where you definitely have to keep mobile in mind.
Absolutely. All right. So we've got a great design, but so do a lot of people. How do you maybe make it fun?
I think the thing is with making it fun is that it really comes down to engagement, right? And getting people to be able to engage with the type of the emails that you're sending out. And there's a lot of ways to do this. We've seen historically that if you just send out email after email after email and it's about you and about your products and your services, people are just going to get numb to it. And if you create, and the same thing with content, we want to create something that's engaging. And there's a number of different ways you can do that. It's kind of like gamification for email engagement is like, we'd say quizzes is one way where you're asking, somebody to say, hey, this is, can you guys take this quiz and we want to, something that you want to create or something you want to do, and you're asking their opinions. Or surveys is another way, and we see this a lot with some of our restaurant clients that on social, they'll actually say, hey guys, should we put this, we're thinking about doing the whatever pepperoni pizza again this month. Should we do it? And people say, yeah, you should. You have 100 people that say yes. You can do the same thing through email. Games. So there's a lot of ways you can, once gamification on that side of things. You have scratch its where you can scratch things off, where they've done this for, I think it was Carnival Cruise Lines, that you would scratch it off and it would say, hey, you get whatever for Mexico for $395, and you click on it and there you go. Trivia's click to reveal. So that's where you say, hey, you click on this and you'll go to this certain website and it'll reveal whether you get a prize or a discount or an offer or something like that. And then even potentially tests. And so you put them through some kind of a system where they're going to get a result of some kind of a test. And then hopefully the goal of that is to say, hey, that, you were a 9 out of 10 and you're a genius, and you go share it on social media that you're a genius. And then everybody gets to see that you're really smart and they want to go and take that test as well. So, email is, once again, you think about it, just not a way to promote yourself, but a way to, once again, engage and get people to react and do something.
That is such an important point. It's not enough to just have the eyeballs. You really need to get the hand and the brain connected and doing something and interacting with that email, because they'll stay longer and it will stay with the message will stay with them longer.
We all receive emails, right? So, and plenty of them are mind numbing and that there's nothing to them. So it's like, you got to figure out how are you going to be outside of that box and get it to where somebody they know when your emails are coming, there's going to be something fun or festive or something you're going to have to react to.
Absolutely. So jumping over to the next part, and actually I think your parts 3 and 4 sort of go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. You don't have to write all your email content yourself, do you?
No, you really don't. I mean, that's the thing that's interesting is if you have a good engaging audience, and then, there's plenty of people that probably follow you. And I talk about this with clients that, have Instagram profiles of like, hey, you're probably some of your biggest advocates are people that follow your Instagram. It's the same thing on email. You probably have, if you have 1,000, 500, 5,000, 10,000, you probably have some really awesome people that are also fellow marketers or that, are in the same space as you, that you could once again include their content, whether it be content from their blog or content from their, whatever, be a podcast or webinar that they've done, or also get them to contribute to helping write the email and putting that together. So, you always want to, that's one way to engage your audience more is that, if I went and had somebody, let's say it was a junior marketer and said, hey, I want to have you come on, or I want to, include one of your podcasts. Well, guess what's going to happen? They're going to say, hey, this was super awesome that, Lorraine put me on her podcast or put me on her email list, and you guys go check out her email. And this is the email that I wrote for her. The idea of that is like, you're kind of paying it forward. You're kind of helping some people out, and they're also helping you out, right? Because they're helping you put together some content for your email list. And once again, it's always nice to get kind of a fresh perspective on it as well.
Oh, yes. When you're sharing content that other people create, they're going to be more likely to share it to their community. You also had something in the article that I really love. This is one of my favorites, is this idea of user-generated content, of inviting customers to maybe share some of their stories.
Yeah. I mean, once again, those are some of your best advocates, right? I mean, the people that really enjoy the things that you've got going on, and maybe a newsletter, something that you've sent out, and they go and they've actually implemented it and want to talk about, how they implemented something that you taught them and how it was a success. And that's great for them to talk about, just the credibility of what you put out there and how that if people put in the time and the effort, that good things can happen. And then it also gives somebody an opportunity to talk about, their hard efforts and to show that, hey, this thing did work. It just took a little bit of effort and we put some time in and some good things happen.
That is great advice. What else can you do? Maybe a little higher level, because some of these I think were more obvious, but you had 2 advanced strategies that you offered in the blog post that I'd love to talk about really quickly.
Yeah, I do agree. The first four were pretty basic if you've done anything in regards to email marketing. The next two are a little high level. So hopefully everybody's sitting down and buckled into their seat, because this is going to be, we're coming in hot and heavy now. We've got number 5 was like using a double opt-in. And what that means is really making sure that the people that are on your list want to be on your list. And I have clients in the past that say, hey, we have 30,000 people. And I say, that's awesome. And I said, well, what's your open rate? We look at some of these numbers, and then I really go, well, really 30,000, I would much rather have 10,000 of highly engaged people than 30,000 that are just email addresses, right? The idea of it is, and it's also better for open rates, it's better for, spam rates, for everything, is you want people that are engaged, and it's the same thing on social. I tell people, listen, if you have 100,000 on Instagram, that's awesome. But if you have 30,000 that are highly engaged, I would have, or even 1,000 that's engaged over 50,000 that's not engaged. It's just better numbers. And it's the same thing with email. It's either A, you can cut down your list. And if people don't want to opt into your email, like there's no reason to make them to. You want a higher open rate. That really is the goal. So, hey, go ahead and cut the fat. And we send out emails and say, hey, are you still interested in receiving our newsletter? And if they say no, great. We don't beg them to come back. We just assume, hey, we cut bait with them and we go find the person that wants to be engaged with the newsletter and that is excited about what we're creating and what we're putting out there. And the double opt-in, once again, most people go, yeah, but that's going to cut down my list. That's the point. The point is to cut down your list, right? Not everybody wants to listen to you anymore. Don't take it personal. You just gotta, you get rid of 10 and you bring on 20 new ones that are excited and going to help your open rate and get that deliverability up there.
Even if you have this great big list, maybe you shouldn't send everybody the same newsletter.
Yeah, we've seen this. So this is a funny story. We had a client. What we realized through segmentation, this was, I don't know how many years ago now. She was a fitness influencer pretty much. And what would happen was we would send out these emails, and we were like, I think at that point she had like 100,000 person list. It was a pretty crazy list, and we didn't really segment it, right? And so we were like sending everybody the same messages. Well, what happened is somebody would go and she had like 6 ebooks, and somebody would go buy an ebook, and then we would send out, 2 days later, it's, hey, get 25% off this ebook, and then we'd have 1,000 people that would email us and say, what the hell? I just bought this thing 3 days ago and I paid full price. I want 25% off. And we realized, okay, wait, like this is not good. We have to figure out, is there a way to tag emails, for what people purchase, but also, if I'm writing about influencer marketing that day and you came in through my website and you wanted to know about SEO, then you maybe don't want to know about influencer marketing, right? It's like, maybe I don't. The problem is if I write about 7 topics and you only want to hear about one of them, the other 6 are going to make you numb to my emails. And by the time I send you the stuff that you want, you're either unsubscribed or you're just just deleting the email. So the segmentation is really understanding and tagging the individuals and how they came in through your website. Was it through a purchase? Was it through a certain page? And make sure the tagging is done there correctly. If you haven't done a newsletter or you haven't collecting emails, great. Just start collecting them. But there will be a point down the road that segmentation becomes extremely important, when you're selling products, because you don't want to go and advertise to the person that just bought something full price. Now they can get a discount, because I can tell you firsthand that we gave out a lot of 25% discounts that day. Well, actually for the next 2 days, because there was a lot of people that inquired. But you just, once again, segmentation it can become difficult to do. But if you do it the right way from the beginning to be able to tag those emails and how they came in, then you can send very specific messages to those specific audiences that will increase the open rate and also get them excited about seeing the newsletter.
Absolutely. Shane, this was fabulous. You whizzed through those points, and I know you've given our audience a lot to think about. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Lynn. Well, thank you so much for having me. I've been prepping for this all week. I did some push-ups and sit-ups before this, so I was ready. I was ready.
Well, you were pumped, and I am going to encourage my readers not only to read the complimentary blog post to this episode, but also to check out shanebarker.com so they can learn more about some of the other things that you're writing about and talking about.
That'd be awesome. Thank you so much, Lorraine.
If you've enjoyed today's conversation and you'd like to find other tools for small businesses, be sure to check out the Digital Toolbox at digitaltoolboxin.com. And never miss another episode of More Than a Few Words. Go ahead and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. This has been another episode of More Than a Few Words. Thanks for listening.